Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. My name is John.
My name is Lester.
My name is Breanna.
Yes, and Breanna is joining us with, for another episode.
2 weeks in a row.
Actually, it's been on the same day, lah. So you all just pretend we're not wearing the same clothes. But anyway,
Yeah.
So yes, we will be talking about another topic today, as you all can see in the title. But before that, remember to join us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Join us at Telegram. All the links will be left in the description box below.
Yes, it's t.me/overthinksg, and for Instagram oh my god. Our Instagram is IMO.pod.
Correct.
Almost butchered it. I saved it though.
Yes. So if anything, y'all just click the link in the comment and do engage with us on Telegram, because I think that's where we are best able to give you the quickest response. That being said, feel free to like, subscribe, comment on YouTube as well. If not, why we rolling these cameras, right?
Yeah. I mean, and also thank you once again to the moderators, 3 moderators who are very kindly volunteering their time. And of course, we want to encourage everyone to go into the chat and share your opinions.
Yes.
Because we want to build a community. And now I think there are 20 members as of filming.
Man.
So it's slowly growing. But eventually we want to hope to get a little bit more, so you can have more diverse opinions.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Which will cover quite a broad range of things.
Yeah, today's topic is a little bit more touchy and it's a bit more controversial. So it's about, we don't want to talk about, so this topic was inspired by the SMU molestation case.
Yeah.
I'll leave a Straits Times article down below.
Yeah.
Even though I've promised the titling, but let's just move on.
But before we go into that, let's just preface this because by the nature of this being a very touchy topic, we want to encourage conversations about it, but at the same time, we encourage you all to be intellectual when you all voice your opinions in the chat, in the comments, or anywhere.
And be sensitive as well.
Yes, and I do understand that this is a topic that is still not decided yet, even by the court, and there are things that haven't been fully brought to light. And that's why we don't want to draw too many conclusions, but we do want to share about some of the reactions that has been going on.
Yeah, and this can also serve as a little bit of a trigger warning if you personally are a victim of sexual abuse. I'm sorry, and I hope you're doing better right now. I hope you're seeking the help that you need. And if you're not comfortable, please skip this episode. We hope you are well. And feel free to DM us if you want to talk about your own experiences, etc.
Yep.
So, but for the rest of you guys, I hope you guys come in understanding the gravity of this issue.
Yep.
And be a bit more sensitive in the comments down below.
Yep, and that's why we don't want to focus so much on the things that we don't know enough of, which is the case itself, But definitely want to talk a little bit more about the reactions that people have been giving, and also Breanna is here to share maybe further on her opinions and also some of her stories that she has had to give you a little bit of a reality check.
Yeah, I think the reason why we want to focus on the comments was because I think the comments are more indicative of a larger societal mindset that I feel can be generalized to not just this case in particular, but to everything else. So
let's go.
Yeah, so let's go. So DJ Jet Rasif actually did post some of them. I'm going to highlight a few of them. And if I will leave the Facebook post itself in the link, so you guys can go and look through the comments, etc. and form your own opinions. So basically this person said this lady allowed him to be in her room, invite trouble, both are at fault. And then there are a lot of people who basically echo her sentiment and say something along the lines of if a fish put itself in front of a cat, don't blame the cat for eating it. It's unrealistic and unnatural. Sleeping in a lion's den is voluntary. You don't tell the lion to ask for permission. Both parties are at fault. The girl was obviously leading him on. What decent girl goes out of her way to meet another guy at 1 a.m. just to study? As a parent, it's absolutely worrying if the law is such that the girl gets away scot-free.
That was incredibly disgusting to hear.
That was very uncomfortable.
That was very heavy.
It's very uncomfortable for me to read out and process what I just heard.
Yeah.
First of all, can we all agree that we're not in favor of that?
No.
No, as in you agree.
No. I don't agree.
Yeah.
As in don't agree
with that.
Yeah. I mean, okay, do you know what? I just miscom. I said, can we all agree that we do not agree? Then I know that I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. I do have to say that some of these, firstly, some of these comments are very, I want to say hurtful and problematic, because Like they do not they think they mean well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure they do.
They think they do.
They think
You know,
they do.
it's very misconstrued. They think that they are sharing some kind of sage advice.
Yeah. But
You know,
it's not.
I hate to put it this way, we are neither fish nor cats,
Nor lions.
nor lions.
Important. You're not animals.
Yeah, I mean, just because you don't study as hard at 1 a.m. doesn't mean other people don't.
Yeah, and I don't like it that there's like this.
Jokes aside,
Yeah, like I don't like it that there's this thing that like, oh, if a girl meets a guy at 1 a.m. means that she wants trouble or she wants something more than just a friendship. And that goes to the whole thing of like, there's some people who think that like, oh, guys and girls can't just be friends, or like when a girl just meets a guy, there's like obviously an ulterior motive, or the guy has an ulterior motive, or a girl is obviously okay if he's advances, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Why?
No, but at the same time, I do want to address this other point, which I thought it particularly stood out to me, was when you mentioned about like what decent girl like blank 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 blank.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this was something that I think is not. It is very wicked to say it that way, because like firstly you're implying that this person is very immoral, and secondly you're implying that this person deserves whatever they got coming, which I think is not fair.
It's not fair.
Because like we had this example during dinner when we were talking about this, right? And say that like as a guy, right, when your uni friend or whatever invite you over, or like you go and hang out with friends late, right, and you're expecting to get drunk and smashed, right, is like you're just expecting there to go drunk, come back and be like, bro, hangover, wow, yesterday was crazy, man. You're not expecting to be sexually violated.
No, yeah.
Right? And then like, does decency matter here?
Why is there such a double standard on it also? Like, what decent guy goes out to meet a girl at 1 a.m.?
It's true, right?
Yeah,
I guess
no one's saying that.
I guess that statement also like can be then turned around like that, right? But it's just, I don't know why people don't say it.
Yeah. As in like, why is there no the same standard, I guess, for the guy as well?
Yeah. It's as if you're intrinsically also implying that guys by default are purveyors of indecence. What?
I think obviously we're not saying, okay, our point isn't
To defend guys. No, we're not trying to defend the
Yeah.
guy here.
And we're also not trying to say that like the solution to this is thus say what decent guy goes out with a girl at 1 a.m. We're not saying let's be equally bad to both of them. We're saying let's be good to both of them.
Correct.
And the good thing is to just not blame people when they're going through some shit.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think I would like to say that like I guess in a weird way you can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's a very archaic way of thinking about
Oh,
things.
it's very ignorant, you see.
Yeah.
These people on the internet are strangers as far as we're concerned to the two parties that are involved.
Yes.
In fact, the fact that we're talking about it, we really shouldn't be going into too much detail because we do not know the full story about everything. In fact, we don't know what the court is about to rule. We don't know what truly transpired between the two of them. We can only offer our opinions. And by virtue of that, right, we shouldn't be drawing conclusions. You know? And this is where I feel that people on the internet are very, like you mentioned, it's a little bit archaic, and it's also a little bit, it's highly ignorant, right? Just because a particular situation presented in itself that runs counter to your ideals and how you perceive your life to be, right, does not necessarily mean that it shouldn't happen. You know, a scenario where someone goes out to enjoy themselves with their friends, right, 100% fucking happens.
Yeah.
But what shouldn't be happening is what is this entire situation playing out, right? It shouldn't even be like the girl is at fault. Maybe we should not be trying to find out who's at fault. We should instead be trying to protect people who are hurt and save people who are deviant. You know what I mean? So the whole focus of this being like the girl being at fault, right, is very ignorant and very, how to say, very self-entitled. What gives you firstly the moral high ground to save people? Secondly, is that truly what's important right now? No, what?
Is to like help, obviously help
Absolutely.
her recover.
Yeah.
And
help him
and
recover.
help him recover as well.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sure as a female, you might take this way worse than we are taking it.
Yes.
So, yeah, what are some of
Tell
your
us your
thoughts?
point of view.
Okay, so my point of view is that about what again? Sorry.
About the comments.
This whole thing, like comments or whatever.
It's super ignorant lah, because number one, it's like as you said, they're strangers. Who are you to like say all those And as I said, double standards as well. And it goes to like the whole point of like, it's so frustrating. I can't even put it into words. Like, how can someone think like that about the whole female population? And like, why can't I go and study at 1 a.m. blah, 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 like, and all those stuff? You know,
Yeah.
why must I fear for my own life or like my own body just because I want to study and like get good grades? You know?
Or like just hang out with a friend.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just very unfair.
Yeah. I think it's rough.
No, it's super rough that people still think this way because firstly, right, when these kind of situations occur, I feel that like ladies, when they partake in activities with their friends now, they are now significantly more worried than they might have been yesterday,
Yeah.
right? And that's additional stress.
Yes.
And they also might be stressed out by the fact that if they do get into a situation that is not what they want, people on the internet are still fucking shitting on them.
Yeah, the internet people are like okay, I would like to say that the straight stance comments are obviously a very skewed population. They are mostly, I guess, the a bit older generation. So I would say that most of the people on Instagram or like the younger audience are probably do not agree with these sentiments. But it's still very scary when you see people so obviously like against this or obviously showing these kinds of sentiments. I'm quite sure it doesn't bode well to creating like a place or a safe space where women who have faced such things before to like come out and like talk about it freely and like be able to push society towards the right direction.
For sure.
Because they know when they come out and say these sort of things, then some people are just gonna be like, "Oh, why would you
deserve it."
Yeah. I also don't think it's a very good. I think our society, maybe not even just Singapore, it might be a human thing. We always like are very quick to like find someone to blame
Yeah.
and like, oh, it must be this person's fault. It must be this person's fault.
Or like there must be a fault.
There must be a fault.
Why must we finger point?
Yeah, I hope one day that our first reaction to this sort of thing is shit, is the girl okay?
Yeah. Or like straight away, what's next? What can we do next?
Yeah, or like how can we solve this? As we said, better sex education, etc. etc.
And this is a trap that we fall into ourselves because when we were all discussing over dinner and all that kind of thing, right? When we got to certain topics and whatever, right? The concluding question was like, okay, then who is at fault? Then after that, I do a little bit of thinking. It's like, firstly, why does it even fucking matter who's at fault?
That's true.
You know, it doesn't matter anymore. Something has happened. We ought to move away from fucking who is at fault.
And instead trying to stop it.
Yeah. So I give you an example. If you talk about the people the same people on the internet, right? If they find out if the guy's at fault, and if they find out if or they find out that actually the lady is at fault, what difference does it fucking make?
It happened.
It absolutely no difference. And most of the time, after they find out who's at fault, these people shut the fuck up. And these people don't understand that they make up a majority that could have made a difference. Right? They are disinterested.
Yeah.
They're just invested in the sensationalism and the excitement of being able to say what they want. They are not invested.
And there are so many other things that are more important. And we said it before in the Decosh episode and so many other episodes. But we said it like, let's try to focus more on the victims for now. And try to see how to prevent this shit from happening again. Because it's getting tiring, guys.
It is. And I think about the thing about it is that these people also usually come from places of privilege where they have not encountered or know of victims that have been through situations in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, having not have these kind of experiences or having been closed off to these kind of stories will blind you to some of the things that happen in society.
Yes.
You know, and as a result, you get the privilege to stick to your archaic views. Because if you're forced in a situation that physically challenges your archaic views, 100% you will not be the person that says that kind of shit.
Yeah, you will rethink some of the things you say.
Absolutely.
Because you know someone personally, or maybe you have personally went through it, and you realize that a lot of the views that you had, you kind of have to challenge it. And we're not saying that we are absolved from this process as well, because there are certain things that we said that is like from our own point of view. If you go back to the Decosh episode, there was like some people who disagree with us, and both of us learned a lot from the episode, because we were like, oh shit, we didn't consider this.
Absolutely.
Oh shit, we didn't consider this. And because we never went through this before. And that was a whole process for us as well. So I hope that these commenters will be able to hear different stories and go through that process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like when you try to shut yourself off to every other person's opinions and not go into these kind of conversations waiting to have your minds changed, right? You start to pick a side, right? And you will never pick someone else's side. You will pick your own side.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're of the opinion that this lady is an offender, then you will pick your own side, and as a result, you don't realize you may hurt someone saying those kind of things.
Yeah, I think maybe they have never experienced it. I would think that in the older generation especially, these things are very taboo. I mean, even the topic of sex is taboo, much less like sexual misdemeanors. Oh my god, I can't butcher that word. Misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Much less that. So I'm quite sure it's something they never heard before in their life. They never knew that it exists. And every time it's being said, like most of the time people just have that, oh, both of them are at fault. Yeah. Why are they even having sex? That kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you think about this sentiment?
I think how quick they pass judgment and how quick they want to point fingers creates this whole toxic culture of the victims. Because as a girl, right, I have a guy friend. His name is Joel. He's really great.
Hi, Joel.
So he's very protective of me. So he told me, like, he looked me dead in my eye and he was like, dude, if you ever get raped, right, don't be scared to tell people. As much as you're scared that people will judge you for being a slut or whatever, right? Just fucking go and give your underwear to the police. Because his semen or his DNA on your underwear is the only evidence that the police can have. So, but a lot of victims, once they got raped, they don't even know that they got raped, or like they try to like not think about it. So they try to convince themselves that they are not raped, or like they weren't touched, or they weren't molested, or they're just scared of the judgment. So they just don't bring it up. And then once they don't bring it up, they wash their underwear, this and that, evidence is gone. And then once, like maybe a few years later, they like wake up, then they want to make a police report. You don't tell what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And do you think that these kind of comments, right, actually end up feeding into this kind of discouragement? People are discouraged to come forward.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they don't understand how much their words mean. Because as much as we're over here, I guess, for lack of a better word, like trying to disprove them or trying to disagreeing with them, like their words matter a lot. And because they are the public sentiment. And as much as we want to sit here and say whatever they say don't matter, unfortunately it does. And people internalize these things a lot more than I think they understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of times that before people speak, we need to do a lot more listening. Because when you start to do this kind of listening, then you start to realize whether your opinion has value to this conversation or not. For all you know, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? For all you know, they may be just really ignorant, they maybe just don't know, right? They don't have people in their lives to tell them these stories, or they have not encountered them themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why they have the privilege to say these kind of things. But like we always say, privilege is incredibly blinding, right? So maybe as a result of that, they don't know. So if you ever see anyone, if you know any friends, that kind of thing, don't just jump to fight them, right? Try to encourage them to understand the other side of the story a little bit better. Because maybe, just maybe, with all the hope of humanity, maybe they just don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, this goes well to like probably a story that Breanna is gonna share.
So I think very early in our relationship, she mentioned this story to me. And I was really shocked by it, right?
I was shocked.
And I think over dinner when we shared the story with Lester, he was like really shocked by it, about how this is some of the real lived realities of girls in Singapore. Okay? Yeah. Just to give you a context, okay, she's 21 this year.
Yes.
She just 4 months ago become allowed to vote for our country. Okay, so she's not that old. And some of these stories are just like kind of crazy to hear that someone before she's 21 experienced this.
So the whole story started off with me holding like 2 glasses of G&Ts in my hand. Like a really chaotic picture. It's really blurry and shit. And he likes to like, he made a sticker or we made a gif out of it and stuff because it's so chaotic. And then I was like laughing. I was like, ha ha, yeah, chaotic. But do you know that now it was quite traumatizing? And he was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why was that picture traumatizing? It looked so fun, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it started off with like me going to like a mutual friend's house. Like the house that I went to was a friend of my friend. She's been to like this guy's house like about once or twice. So I thought that it was okay. Mind you, the guy is like 38, 39 years old, expat, stuff, big dude, whatever. So we were at Holland Village drinking first and you know, like phase 3 or whatever, clubs are still, no, is it phase 3 already?
No.
Phase 2.
Yeah.
So phase 2, night bars are like to like close at 10:30, right?
Yes.
So 10:30 was like pretty early. Like once it closed, where are you supposed to go? So we just decided to go to this guy's house, which I kind of trusted because like my friend has been there like once or twice.
There's all 4 of you are going, right?
4. So
Yeah.
me, my friend, the guy she's dating, and then the friend of like the guy who owns the house.
Yeah.
Went over to his place because like, woo, free drinks, shit. Like, you know, just chill at his place, normal. And typically when I drink, like 2 glasses of G&Ts won't knock me out. Like it would take like a whole bunch of shit to knock me out. But that night, just drinking 2 G&Ts, I felt like dying. Like I felt so shitty. I couldn't articulate my words. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't do anything. And it was to the point where I had to straight away send my closest friends my location first because I could not type, I could not do anything. And it was so fucking scary.
Yeah.
I was like fucking like fearing for my life. But I was like sort of conscious enough to faster send my address in case anything happened. And then I just called my friend who I knew was awake at that time. And it was so bad that like, I couldn't articulate my words. I was just like sobbing and crying because I did not know what effect that it was having on me. Because when I'm drunk, I can say shit. Like, you know how I am when I'm drunk. I can do my like skincare routine and shit, but this was like,
Okay, fair.
this is like my vocabulary was gone. I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of mad because my friend and the guy that she was dating was like, they like fucked off to another corner. So it's just me and that big dude alone. And there was a point where like I was just wanting to go and pee. So I went to the toilet, but he came behind me and then he just like locked the door with both of us in the toilet. And I thought like, shit, like this is it. Like I'm gonna fucking get raped. He didn't, thankfully. Like he just talked to me like a little bit and then he left. And I was like, okay, shit, like I could have died. Fuck. And then that was when I started freaking out because anything could happen like in an instant. And yeah, it's just so scary and so vulnerable. You feel like nothing, especially when the guy is so big. Like, okay, like even if the guy was the same size as me, I was really like intoxicated and like probably roofied that night because like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just,
So how did the story end?
story ended when I think my friend could sense that something was wrong. So we both managed to like get out. And the guy wanted to like, was like, oh, but let me order some McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. Like, tried to get us to stay and stuff. Like, she told me this, like, he tried to get us to stay because he was like, I wanted to order McDonald's, blah, 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 and stuff like that. She was like, nah, like we managed to, like, bullshit our way out. I don't know how she did it, but she did. Like, I couldn't even put on my shoes, so I walked out barefoot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the moral of the story is she suspect that like someone spiked her drink.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably the dude lah. In case you all didn't catch that, okay? But
Yeah.
like,
And my response was like, this shit happens in Singapore.
yeah, and her response to that is,
This happens all the fucking time.
I can't believe it. Like, okay, I definitely heard of date rape drugs before. And that's something, it's not a concept that I'm unfamiliar with. But I never thought that in Singapore it was a thing. But apparently from the stories that she said, like, it's not the only time that she's heard about it or like,
yeah.
or like a close friend has experienced
And
it.
like, I think it doesn't have to go that far as like a date rape kind of situation, like a date rape drug. Like for her, she suspect that her drink was spiked. Sometimes I think in Singapore it goes further than that, where people try to take advantage of a situation without necessarily resorting to these kind of drugs.
Yeah.
They may just make you super intoxicated, right? They just keep pouring you drinks, and as your inhibition gets lower, you drink and drink and drink.
Yeah.
Right, and then that's when they find the opportunity to take advantage of you. And like, it's very scary to hear this kind of story firsthand, because like you are right. The first time you encounter this is like, this happened, man. Right?
Yeah, I was so shocked.
And every time she tells me some kind of story that is like that kind of thing, and I'll just be like, "Fuck, really, man? Like this is so common, man. Where are all these people, right?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Dude, it's more common than you think." Yeah. And I'm just like, "But where are these people, right?" And it's even then, having heard of it so many times, and other kind of thing, it's still difficult to reconcile with the fact that this many of these people exist in society.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why one of the reasons why we are sharing this on our talk show tonight, right, is so that y'all can understand, especially for people who are ignorant and privileged enough to not have to worry about these things, that these things exist.
It's crazy. It's just crazy to me. And I'm someone who like used to club a lot. So like I used to go pretty much every week. And I mean I'll just dance and dance floor and have fun. But like even then I never knew that this was a thing. So
yeah,
it's something that, I'm just
no, and this is why we come back to the earlier point about why I feel that those comments are not useful for a situation like this. Yeah. Because you see, like I mentioned, the expectation is a very double standard thing. Why is it that if let's say we switch the situation around, instead of her going, I went, right? I can go there fully with the full expectation that I'll probably drink myself silly and get home with my pants
and be safe,
still
right?
on.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is something that, like, whether decent or not, is the basic safety, human respect element that I think, regardless of gender, everyone deserves.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why these kind of comments are not helpful, because if you were a dude and then you go over and then you got raped.
Yeah.
What would you feel if you see those kind of comments?
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be... Either way, it'll be rough. I don't think the gender thing matters.
It doesn't matter at all.
At all. So like even if it was a guy and they say the same thing, like what kind of decent guy goes out at 1 a.m. with a girl to study, then it'll be the same response from us. It'll be why it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And we would, everything we said previously, like up to this point, still holds. So it's definitely not a gender thing. I think this is a very discouraging sign. And I think it's a lot more, as I said, it's a lot more prevalent than most people think. And even like recently, there was this news about this bunch of guys, right? Like they raped a woman in a Pasir Ris in a chalet.
Oh.
I don't remember this piece of news.
Yeah, I'm going to leave, I don't know the full details, but I'm going to leave the article down below. But I think it happened before. And she was very intoxicated, and that's why. And apparently, I think one of the group members said something along the lines of like, she's lying there.
I think it was a dare.
Ah.
Then one guy was filming everything, while I think 2 guys were like raping her.
And it happened, and it was
disgusting.
It's just crazy.
Humans are disgusting.
And I never look at the comments, but I really sincerely hope that no one said, why did she get so drunk with 4 guys? Or why did she get so drunk and go to a chalet with them? Because that would really destroy a lot of faith I have in humanity right now. But it's rough lah.
Yeah, man. And like, yeah. Okay, before I end my thoughts, we're going to have to take a short camera break.
Yes.
I'll be right back on this depressing topic. But if y'all got anything to share, leave some comments and text us on Telegram, and we can have a little bit more of these kind of conversations.
BRB.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back from our camera break.
Yes.
Okay, so I think this story on its own, I think is worth letting it simmer with y'all. So I just want to give a bit of my concluding thoughts, and then we can move on from this topic. So first thing first is that I feel that I want to encourage more people to, instead of trying to blame the victims in comments or try to push your narrative down people's throats, right? Maybe what you should do instead is to follow what her friend Joelle did, and that is to offer advice and offer a point of contact in the event that someone needs it. Yeah. So you don't necessarily discourage them or frighten them with how society might be, right? But you offer them the solution and encourage them to be brave in their times of needs.
Yeah.
Right, which I think is something that, regardless of gender, everyone would appreciate, and how everyone should treat each other. right? And that's why, like, for us, we establish each other as like emergency contacts or whatever, for our phone, and then we understand that the implication is that when this happens, immediately I will call the authorities, and likewise for her, right? And that is like, at nothing, if nothing else, it's reassurance for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is how we should go about creating a safer and better society for each other, lah. Because like these stories are real, and like, frankly speaking, if you're all watching this, you're all listening, if you all have any stories that you would like to share, or know anyone else that's willing to shed some light on these kind of stories, feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
We'll try our best to shed light on these kind of stories that deserve to be heard, because I think ignorance is one of the biggest pandemics we have to fight as well, lah.
Yeah, I think like I mean, in the front of the episode, we said that there are a lot of more things that we feel the efforts might be better placed beyond trying to find who is at fault and being so obsessed with it. One of them being tend to the victims, and now of them is like trying to find out how to prevent this thing from ever happening again. So I think we would definitely want, if you have personally gone through any of it, or if your friends have gone through any of it, and if they are comfortable with coming on the show, whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't really matter. We would love to have you on the show to talk a little bit more about this, and we want to hopefully shed more light on how to help the victims, because we personally, as much as I say let's help the victims, I can leave the links in the below for some resources that you can go to, but concretely, I'm going to admit that I don't really know how much else to help other than emotionally and saying that I'm here for you.
Correct.
And if you want to DM me, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I would like to know more. And also for the second part about how we can help prevent, I think we have talked about it before. We do think that as the preliminary answer is a better sex education. And I think the sex education system has failed us pretty spectacularly. And we all just went with it. And I think there should be a better focus on consent.
Absolutely. And for now, that since there's no real education to be said, the least we can do will be to support each other in whatever ways we can.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we should be moving towards consent eventually, hopefully. And we have done plenty of episodes they are trying to advocate for that. And hopefully you guys can go look at them and share some of your opinions as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Breanna, any last thoughts?
Yes, you guys just help me like remember something. For those iPhone users, right? Touch wood, if you guys are ever in any emergency, right? Fun fact, you can press your lock button 5 times and alarms will ring. Like, sirens will ring, and then your iPhone will count down from 3. It will immediately call the police.
Oh shit.
For you, yes. And then you can add in your emergency contacts, right? So after you call the police, it will straight away send your location to your emergency contacts.
Yeah.
And the message will be like, this and this is at this location and is sending you this right now, and in like this person needs an emergency.
Yeah. So this is what we have established, so that like in the event any of us, like I could be in car accident, right?
Yeah.
Any of us send this kind of situation, like
Immediate
straight
call
away
police.
call police, call family, everything.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that.
So this is just a bit of reassurance.
Yeah.
Right? But this is how I feel we should be supporting each other as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we have to say? I think that's pretty much it, right? It's a pretty short episode because once again we don't want to go much into the case. And I think it's, for us at least, it seems pretty cut and dry lah.
Yeah.
But of course, if you have any differing opinions, if you think we missed out on anything, definitely leave in the comments down below, or join us on Telegram. And if you guys want to come on the show to talk about your experiences, please DM me and I'll see what I can do.
Yep.
And I'll leave all the resources down below in the links below, so go ahead and
follow us on Instagram, and all the links will always be below lah. And then if you know if you all really do enjoy these kind of conversations, we also want to open the floor up to more of more men's experiences as well, which is something we addressed in the previous episode lah. And this is something that eventually we would like to do. So don't worry. For all our men out there, we're not trying to leave you out. But at the same time, I do want to encourage anyone who has any differing opinions. Whenever we come to our conversations here, we will always expect to have our minds changed, coming ready to have our minds changed. So if you all have any disagreement, please remember to be intellectual with your discussion. But if not, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. I know it's a bit of a depressing episode, but hope you guys still enjoyed it.
Yeah, stories are stories, and stories are they demand to be told, man. So yeah.
Thank you guys so much. See you guys next week and stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.